Good morning, traders. Good morning, good morning. How's it going? Happy Monday. See what we got here. Good morning, KT. Wondering if it's going to be more just up only today. We're going to get more of what we had last week, just all-time high after all-time high. So we had a pretty good sell-off a couple minutes ago. This was the previous London low and it held. It was right at that VWAP, so it got a pretty good bounce. So we'll see if we get some continuation of the upside or if it's going to start showing some weakness. So right now, this purple line is the anchored VWAP from the London session, and the green line is anchored from the all-time high. So we're kind of pinching between that and the overnight VWAP. So it'll be interesting to see who wins this battle. If we break above, then we're going to see more upside. Break below, we could see more downside, come all the way down to like Asia low area. Similar to last week though, I don't want to be trying to short all-time highs. So we don't have any big news today. So you know how it is when there's no news on a Monday, it could be choppy. Definitely want to be prepared for that. Kind of coming up to that all-time high anchored VWAP right there. Let's see if it breaks through. Starting to get some volume. So we have a couple of Fed speakers today and Trump signing some executive orders at 1:30 Central Time. So I will personally probably try to be done trading before Trump does his executive orders, because that's never fun. Can definitely get wicked out during that time. But other than that, no big news events, just Fed speakers and no news Monday. We'll see if we get some direction or if it's a choppy day. Good morning, Biblical. Welcome. Glad to have you. Hi, Mama. Good morning. How was your weekend, you guys? Anyone do anything fun? What did you guys do? Hot here in the UK? Are you close to any water, ocean or anything so you can go swimming? Or a pool? Or did you just stay inside in the AC? Hose pipe? Is that like a hose? Like you just sprayed yourself down with a hose? I don't know what a hose pipe is. I've never heard that before. Okay, yeah. I used to do that when I was a kid. Not necessarily just a hose, but I would run through the sprinklers because when I was younger, we didn't have a pool. So I remember turning on the sprinkler that attaches to the hose and has the little spinny thing on it, or the one that's like oscillating, and we would just run around through the sprinklers. That was a good way to cool off when I was a little kid. Good morning, PM. All right, so for now, just kind of being patient to see what the market gives us. Since we have the open here in 8 minutes, I'm hoping we do get some sort of direction today with it being a no news Monday and a shorter week with the holiday and stuff. Definitely want to be a little bit cautious. But right now, we are pinching between the all-time high anchored VWAP and then the overnight VWAP. We got a pretty good bounce off of that earlier. So if we hold above this VWAP, then I could see us going up higher. I mean, we're really close to that 23,000 level, which I feel like would be a big round psychological number to hit if we keep going higher. Bookmap has some orders at 22,950 also, which would be a new all-time high. So if the market opens up, then, I mean, the sky's the limit. We don't really have any resistance up there. If we start to show some weakness and break below this VWAP and this London low area, then, I mean, there's quite a few levels we could come down to. I could see us possibly coming down to like this region right here, previous day's high or Asia low. But definitely don't want to be counting on shorts until we break and hold below this London low VWAP area. Zooming out, it still looks bullish. Continuing to make higher highs, and we held this low right here. Haven't made a new lower low. Good morning, G-Man. Coach Set, remember, patience pays. Yep. Definitely going to be patient today. All right, got about 5 minutes until the market opens. Start zooming in a little bit here. So we'll see if we break above this all-time high VWAP or if we break below this overnight VWAP. We're kind of getting a pinch here. So I think that'll give us some direction if we break and hold below or above one of those. I'll go ahead and delete this one. That's from, the purple one is from the London session. I can tell we're definitely getting into summer. Every time I log on to these streams, people are talking about how hot it is. And like unusually hot for your region. I'm in Houston, so yeah, it's hot, but it's always hot. We're used to it. It's not like it's out of the ordinary. Yep. VWAP has definitely been holding as support. Big bounces, 1, 2, 3. We just had that one earlier that was a good bounce off of that London low and VWAP. If I was at my computer, probably wouldn't want to take that long. Just gonna be patient. Market's open in 3 minutes, and we'll see how this first 15 minutes plays out. I do keep Bookmap up on a different screen, and I don't know a whole lot about how the algos work, but I know when I see random like huge orders of 300 or 400 when the rest of them are like 30 or 40, I know it's some sort of bot in there and they're going to pull those orders. But what I've noticed is it tends to pull the market in that direction. Not always. But like right now, there's a big one up at 22,900. So I wonder if it's going to kind of pull the market up first. Just an interesting observation. If anyone else follows Bookmap, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too. But I feel like those big algo orders are like pulling the market. Volume's already starting to come in. You can see it down here. It's been increasing for the last hour or so. So maybe we will get some volatility this morning and not have it be a no news Monday chop session. Hopefully. Good morning, Mad Moxie. So what's the plan today? You guys gonna like degen into the first couple minutes of the open, or are you gonna be patient and wait for the first 15 minutes to set up? What's it gonna be today, you guys? For some reason, this is freezing. All right, market's opening in about 1 minute. Here we go. Market's open. Whoa, market's open and down. Got a little heavy there in the beginning. Sitting right at that VWAP. Let's see if it holds it again. Decent little bounce there. So far, we're getting some selling pressure. It's already bounced off that London low a couple times. I wonder if it's going to come down to like Asia low. It's definitely breaking below VWAP. If it gets down to Asia low, that could be a possible spot for a bounce. That's at like 22,800-ish. Starting to get heavy. Selling off big time. We do have this high volume area at Friday's point of control too, which is about 22,785. So quite a few areas down here where it could bounce. With how heavy this is though, I'm definitely not going to try to catch a falling knife. Definitely not. I actually prefer a pullback like this because it gets me back into my comfort zone a little bit, like having some levels to actually play off of. When we're up in all-time high area, it's no man's land. There's no support or resistance or anything. Kind of just guessing at that point. So I'd love to see it come down to one of these levels, like maybe point of control or value area low or something, and like establish a base and then have buyers return and possibly look for a long. But like I said, right now it's just heavy. I don't want to be trying to catch a falling knife and like guess where the bottom is. I've learned my lesson too many times with blowing up accounts trying to do that. So gonna be patient and wait and see how it reacts. There's quite a bit of liquidity over in this area right here. I guess I could have used my rectangle tool instead of the square or circle, like this area right here, which is where it's headed right now. So could get a little bounce here or come down to Asia low and grab that liquidity. My goodness. Sellers came in hot today. I guess everyone wanted to take profits from their positions from last week. Did anyone jump in on a short just based off of momentum? When I was kind of going through my pre-market game plan, I was saying if it breaks below VWAP, then we could see Asia low. But honestly, that was like the first 2-minute candle of the open. So I didn't want to jump in that early and then just kind of get wicked out on the volatility. So wasn't my trade, but I'm curious if anyone else jumped in. One minute orb. Oh, D, I can't do the 1 minute orb. I think my anxiety levels would go through the roof. trying to catch a breakout on the 1 minute and then trying to like set stop losses and take profits. And oh my gosh. I'm guessing I would blow a lot of accounts if I traded the 1 minute orb. 22,800, yeah, that's right at Asia low. It didn't quite grab it though. I mean, there's a little bounce there, but Asia low is all the way down here at 804. Sometimes that's a fake out where it like gets a little bounce at the level, the almost level, and then it comes back down and actually grabs it. So I definitely wouldn't take a long there yet. Another reason I wouldn't take a long too is it's still only 7 minutes into the open. So gonna be patient and wait for the right setup for me. Start drawing my 15-minute levels and then move them and adjust them as needed. It is getting a pretty good bounce, but still early. Let's see if it comes back up to this previous London low level, since there was quite a bit of support there. And then that's also where the overnight VWAP is. Let's see if we get a rejection and some continuation lower from there. I do feel like there's quite a bit of confluence for 22,800, and it didn't quite touch it, so I could see it rejecting up here and continuing lower. And there we go, we're coming lower again. KT is short. If we don't get a strong bounce off of Asia low, man, there's lots of levels that we can go lower. Lots of levels. I really like the point of control from the previous session as a target. And then when I zoom out like this visible range volume profile, you can see lots of areas of high volume that could be an area for a bounce. Point of control is a big one. There's another spot here at like 22,736. So we'll see how low it comes. Got about 4 minutes until that 15-minute opening range is set. And then maybe we can take some trades off of that. KT, you said you're short. What are you targeting? Where do you think it's headed? G-Man's back. We had quite a big dump so far in the open. Didn't quite come down to this Asia low, so I feel like we're just getting a little bounce and we're gonna reject and come lower. At least to grab the liquidity at the Asia low at 22,800, and then if this sell-off continues, I think point of control is a pretty good target, 784. It's holding below this New York anchored VWAP. Yeah, we do have Chicago PMI. I think it's like a yellow folder news event. It's not huge. It definitely could cause some reaction, some volatility, but it wasn't a big one that was on my radar. All right, coming back down. My goodness, this is wild. Honestly, a little bit refreshing. Like I was saying earlier, I was so outside of my comfort zone last week with just constant all-time highs, like no support and resistance to trade off of. I felt like a fish out of water. So, like I said, this is refreshing. Coming down into my area where I actually have levels marked off, like areas where we might bounce. Let's see how this last 1 minute candle closes, and then we'll have our 15-minute opening range set. All right, where are we headed? We did officially come down to that Asia low level. So let's see if we get a bounce or if we're going to continue lower. So yeah, Coach said, I think the Chicago PMI number already came out. It was at 9:45 EST. I didn't notice anything. No big volatility. So at this point, we just have Fed speakers, which could make it choppy and like no direction. So that's a possibility. And then I think Trump is signing some executive orders later this afternoon. Nothing else huge to watch for. Other than Trump, I don't like being in the market when he's talking. I don't like being in a trade when he's talking. So if buyers are going to take back control today, this is kind of the area to do it. Because like I said, we came down to that Asia low level. The 15-minute opening range is set, so we could return back to the other end of the range. So that's something that we could watch for. What's the stat on Edgeful? Like 66% of the time, both sides of the 15-minute range are tested or broken. So if we come back down to the 15-minute low and bounce, we could target the other end of the range. That's if buyers are going to take back control. Or the sell-off could continue. Yeah, 66% of the time, there's a double break. If I'm wrong, someone in the chat tell me. But that's what I've heard from several people. 66% of the time, the 15-minute opening range, there's a double break, which means it retests both ends of the range. So it could come back down here to the 15-minute opening range low, and if it bounces, then we could target the 15-minute opening range high, because 66% of the time, it'll retest both ends of the range. That's a good thing to keep in mind too, if there's like a 15-minute opening range fake out. Like maybe if it comes down here and like gets a strong bounce and then closes back within the range, that could just be a fake out and we can target the other end of the range. So that always makes me be careful with taking the trade on the first breakout of the range. Good afternoon, Marcus. Good morning from me as I sit here with my coffee. All right, you guys, this definitely doesn't look bouncy. Doesn't look like buyers want to take back control. I do like point of control as a target. Man, if it breaks below point of control, we have a long way down to go. It's breaking outside of that 15-minute range. Don't want to get caught in a fake out though. So if buyers return and get some momentum off of this bottom, I wouldn't be opposed to a long. So I'm going to be careful and wait for confirmation either way. Kind of just playing around with this area. Yeah, doesn't look strong at all. Since it was kind of holding this area, I was wondering if buyers were going to take control, but buyers haven't shown up yet. They're still drinking their coffee. I don't like taking a short right here though. I would like to see it bounce back up a little bit. Just because my stop loss would have to be like way up here somewhere. And I don't feel like the risk to reward on that is great because I could see it possibly bouncing here at point of control. So no trade for me. I'm going to be patient. If it comes back up to this anchored VWAP and then rejects, that would probably be where I would take a short. Let's see. Starting to close back within the range, getting a little momentum to the upside. So I want to see how it reacts at this New York VWAP. If buyers do indeed show up and it breaks above, this could be that fake out that I was talking about, and then we can target the other end of the range. But if it rejects up here, that could be a good spot for a short. So let's see. I'm kind of getting a little bit of a fake out vibe. Like buyers are just playing with us and they're going to shoot it to the moon. But not taking anything yet. Waiting for confirmation either way. The risk to reward for a long is a little bit better too. I would just, again, want confirmation that buyers are actually going to show up. But like I said before, with a short, I could see it bouncing at point of control. With a long, we could put our stop loss right below this wick low and target the other end of the range high, or the 15-minute range. Still holding that range low. Buyers are defending, that's for sure. Getting a little consolidation. What are you guys thinking? Are sellers getting ready to dump it? Or are we going back to all-time highs? Are buyers gonna win? What do you guys think? Waiting patiently. Yeah, I'm really thinking, I'm getting long vibes. Because we had a strong sell-off in the beginning, but there's been no continuation. I'm going to enter along too, you guys. Like I was saying before, I like the risk to reward. It's a very clear stop loss right here below the previous wick. And up to this 15-minute range high as a good target, or even some of the overnight highs if it continues going up. So I did enter at 826.75. I'll move my screen over here in a second, but I'm going to mark that off. Put my stop loss down here. And then see if we can get up to the 15-minute opening range high or continuation from there. Maybe leave a runner up to like the London high, depending on how much momentum we get. Let's see. I could be wrong. The safer trade probably would have been to wait until it breaks above that anchored VWAP. I just feel like for me, all the signs are there. Like it came down to Asia low. It held that. It's been holding the 15-minute opening range low. Sellers had control, but they're just not continuing. Let's see if buyers take it. They're playing with our emotions first. Come on. Consolidations like this, I just feel like there's an explosive move coming. Hopefully it's to the upside. Hopefully it explodes up. Oh, Marcus is long from 812. That's a better entry than me. I got in at 826. Kind of starting to peekaboo above VWAP there. Come on, let's continue. Let's go. It's playing with us. There we go. There we go. Sorry, guys. I just realized I never put my screen up for you. So 826 is where I entered. And then where is the 15-minute opening range high? 875. We do have some resistance here at 848 for sure. I think that's what Marcus was saying his first target is. Yeah, because there's confluence there. That's where VWAP, overnight VWAP is, and the all-time high anchored VWAP. So, if we can break above 848, we'll at least go to range high, if not new all-time highs. So let's see what kind of momentum we get. What does Bookmap say? Where does it say we're headed? We got lots of orders to the upside. 900, 925, 950. Holy cow. It'd be interesting if we... Geez, you guys, new all-time highs again? What in the world? Are you saying wow to... Did you look at Bookmap, G-Man? Is that what you're saying? There's lots of orders way up there. It's not really moving. I was hoping this is what would not happen with there being no news on Monday. I didn't want it to be choppy and slow. This might be a good day to just take our couple trades and then close up and be done. There's more news tomorrow and Wednesday. This is funny. Not going anywhere. Sin, no, this is not Top Step. This is actually the futures desk. It's Project X platform, which is what Top Step uses. So it probably looks similar, but it's the futures desk. If you haven't looked at their rules, I love their rules. I think they're the most fair that I've ever seen. So they have an eval that you basically like build your own eval based on how you like to trade, like how many days you want until you pass, what your daily drawdown is, what your total drawdown is, how many contracts you can trade with. You like toggle it all and build your own eval. And then once you pass your eval, you go straight to live. Like it's a real brokerage account with real daily payouts. So the rules are very, very fair. And they actually have a 60% off sale going on right now. I have my flyer up here. It's through July 4th. So 60% off the futures desk. Use code Krista if you want. Support the channel. But yeah, go check out the rules. I love the futures desk. You went over your daily target. So one thing I like about the futures desk is you're not punished for going over your daily target. It's not like a normal challenge or like consistency target where if you go over this day, then your entire target moves and you have to like recalculate your 20%. You're not punished for it. You just kind of get to bank that extra. So that's kind of cool. They also have I think they call it a base hit. So if you have a red day in your eval, the next day you can make up to 150% of your daily profit target, so you can make up for the red day, which again, no other platform has that. A lot of times you're penalized for going over your daily target. So good rules. I recommend you guys check it out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what the base hit is. So if you have a red day, you can just make up for it on the next day, up to 150% of your daily target, and you're not, like, your goalpost, your total profit that you need to make is not affected negatively. So fair rules, really fast path to payout or to live, daily target, daily payouts at live. And then with their 60% off sale right now, it's also very cheap compared to most prop firms. All right, come on. Let's see if we can get some movement up. It's playing with us. Still holding above that New York VWAP, but really just chopping around. It's not convincing. I'd like to see it break up above like 846, 850-ish. I'd feel better about it. Get some continuation to the upside. Come on. It's interesting with this choppiness, it kind of feels like volume has just died and like there's no one participating right now. But this volume is actually not that much lower than opening volume. So could be gearing up for a big move, hopefully to the upside. That's what I'm hoping. Marcus, why do you say longs are looking better now? This 1 minute chart is just gross. Let's see what the 5 minute shows. Come on, let's see. Let's go. Let's go. I actually really like the 2 minute. I feel like the 2 minute gives a little more like clarity than the 5 minute, but it removes some of the noise from the 1 minute. Like I find myself when I'm in this choppiness on the 1 minute, I start to like analyze every single 1 minute candle and like, oh no, we're going down. Ah, we're going up, you know? So if I go to the 2 minute, it still gives me that like zoomed in look on price action so I can see the levels better and stuff, but it removes some of the noise from the 1 minute candle. Yeah, I've used the 3 minute too. I don't know, 2 and 3 I feel like are very similar. All right, coming up to that big VWAP zone I was telling you about. 2 VWAPs are overlapping, the overnight session VWAP, and then the all-time high anchored VWAP. I'd love to see us just get some volume and bust through it and not really have this indecision. There we go. Close above and then continue up. Let's go. D, are you still here in the chat? So this is kind of what I was talking about with that edge full stat, where hopefully we get a double break. Broke below this 15-minute opening range low, and hopefully we're going to get some continuation through these VWAPs and at least hit the 15-minute opening range high, if not further. Value area high at 874. Yep. Are you talking about the current session value area high or from Friday's session? Probably from Friday's session, because my current value area high is 836. Oh, this session. Mine's different. I have mine at 835. Still kind of chopping around those VWAPs. I don't want to see it reject here. We do have this point of control, which is kind of where that chop was, and there's lots of volume right around 22,826. So if it does come back down, I'd like to see it bounce there at 826 and continue higher. If it breaks below that, then it could be rejecting from that VWAP and continuing lower. Hopefully this is a little trap for sellers. Come on, keep pushing it higher. Yeah, Coach set, so it is at the overnight session VWAP, which I have at 846. And that's also right in line with where my all-time high anchored VWAP is. So that's kind of what it's fighting with right now, right at 846. So hopefully it breaks up above that. That's interesting that our numbers are so different, Marcus. I'm just using this SVP indicator over here, and I have it set at the standard like 70% 70% range. Our point of control is the same. Mine's at 827, same as yours. But your value area low and high are different than mine. I wonder if your range is just wider. Like maybe you have 80% or something like that. All right, coming back down to that area of chop that we had. I really want this level to hold as support. If it breaks below, I'm actually going to kill my trade early because I don't like it anymore if it breaks below that. This is a spot where I want it to bounce. That's also right where the New York anchored VWAP is too. So don't want it to go below there. I didn't move my stop loss. I still have it all the way down at the bottom, but like I said, if it breaks below that point of control VWAP area, I'll definitely kill it early. I didn't move my stop loss though because I wanted to give it some room, because if it is going to continue to the upside, I figured it would come back down and retrace a little bit. So for me, the idea is still valid. So I wanted to let it play out a little bit. Yeah, Shez Miguez, it's definitely tough to know when to move your stop loss and when not to. The reason I didn't is because I was expecting some resistance at this VWAP area, and I figured it would come back down a little bit. And I didn't want to get stopped out at break even if the trade is still valid. So if it makes a new higher high, like if it breaks up above 855, then I'll move to break even and start scaling out at opening range high and then possibly leave a runner for higher. But I could be wrong. This could be coming lower. It's one of those things where you never really know until hindsight. Like, oh, I shouldn't have moved my stop loss, or, oh, I should have moved my stop loss and got out at break even. It's hard to tell. At what point would you add? On this one, I'm not going to, because I got in at my full risk. I have $250 if it gets to my full stop loss, which it won't. I need to move it up now. It's not looking good anymore. So on this one, G-Man, I wasn't really looking to add just because it was so choppy. If it looked different and we were actually getting momentum to the upside and we like strongly and aggressively broke up above this anchored VWAP and then maybe like came back down and retested it and started to bounce, that would be something I would consider adding, because I would have a strong feeling that we were going to continue moving higher. But with how choppy this was and like lots of indecision, I definitely wouldn't want to be adding to something like this. So that's when I feel a lot more confident about the trade moving in my direction, that's when I look for adding. This one I don't feel as confident though, so not gonna add. Still long bias as long as we're above Friday's value area high. We're becoming mean reverted, trading above and below today's point of control. Yeah. This is pretty choppy, which I don't like. If I wasn't already in a trade, I would say this is something you should not trade. So if I get stopped out, I would be looking for new information. Like maybe come back down. This is now the 60-minute low. Like if we came back down here and maybe tested point of control from Friday and then bounced back up and closed back within the initial balance low, that could be a good failed auction setup. Or if we break above these VWAPs and start to get some momentum to the upside, we could look for longs. But all of this right here, just kind of choppy, no trade zone. If you're not already in one. So my stop loss now I have below here. Reduced my risk a little bit. I still feel like we're going higher today at some point. It's just a matter of when. And like, how low does it come and where does it bounce? That's still the part that I'm unsure of, but I feel like at some point today, it's gonna go back up to overnight highs and possibly higher. It's just gonna shake a bunch of people out before then. Well, our 60-minute initial balance is pretty much set. We have about 5 minutes left. So we'll see if it breaks a little bit lower and maybe that line adjusts. How do we play initial balance when it's in the middle? You wait until it tests one of the ends of the range. So if this level doesn't hold and it does not continue higher, if it starts to go lower, I could see a possible failed auction would be, so this is the initial balance low right here. A possible failed auction could be coming down to bounce off of point of control and then closing back within the initial balance low. I could see that possibility. If this breaks up above and comes all the way back up to initial balance high, I don't know how good I would feel about shorting from there and taking a failed auction from the top. Just because I feel like all of this chop right here, if it were to like break out and get some momentum to the upside, I think there would be continuation higher. And I wouldn't really want to short that momentum. That's just my thought process though. I mean, I would definitely react to price action once it gets there. But yeah, I think I'd feel better about a failed auction to the downside. If it comes down to point of control and bounces, that could be a good setup. Hopefully it doesn't do that though, because then that would mean that the position that I'm in would get stopped out. And I don't want that to happen. I'm not wishing that upon myself. So let's just go up from here, all right? Let's talk about that scenario. Is anyone taking a nap at their desk? If you are, you wouldn't have missed much. There's not really much going on right now. You're not missing any trades. You're not missing any big candles. There we go. Getting a little movement up. Nice. I like what I see. All right, I'm gonna remove this little bad mojo I put on myself. Scenario stopping myself out. So now I will feel a lot better if we make a higher high. So if we get back up above like 856, then I think we're going at least to the initial balance high. I didn't quite understand what you said, huh, Mama? The volume looks like it's going for price discovery. Is that what you're saying? Long the bottom. ES is bouncing, like rejecting off the VWAP. Is that what you're saying, Marcus? Let's see. Yep. Both kind of in the same spot. Let's see, is this all-time high? Let's see if that all-time high anchored VWAP is in like the same spot. Yeah. Very similar to NQ. Both of those VWAPs are kind of in the same spot. Big area for rejection. Fighting through that for sure. So we're getting a little price pinch here. It'll be interesting to see who wins this battle. But we're rejecting this VWAP and we're kind of holding support at the New York anchored VWAP. So this little battle right here, price pinch. And it's just gonna bust up right there. That's what I'm saying. What do you guys think? Is it gonna happen? Come on, let's go. You know what I think will really help and probably just make this chop stop? Everyone go like the stream. Everyone go click that thumbs up button and we're just gonna break out of this consolidation to the upside. Come on, let's go. Let's go. You think it's going to reject off of VWAP? Shazmigas, get out of here. What are you talking about? No. Give me some long vibes. Go click that thumbs up button and give me your long vibes. That's what I want. Go like the stream and think about going long. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. This is brutal, you guys. It's not moving anywhere. I don't like it. Let's see how that current session volume profile is looking. Still chopping around this point of control right here. Well, we got our low volatility, no news Monday, it looks like. This might be one of those days where if I do get stopped out of this position, then I just set some alerts and walk away. Because if I keep staring at this, then my brain tends to start making up trades that aren't there. And I don't want to be doing that. Marcus got in long at 828. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Yeah, that mid-range chop, I've learned not to trade that. Like, I know right now I'm in a trade, but that was because I took it an hour ago. But Shez Miguez, what I usually do, like if I wasn't in a trade already, or if I do end up getting stopped out, I would set an alert up here at 22,855 so that I can know if it makes a new high. And then I would set one down here at the initial balance low. So I usually just set one at points of interest above price and below price. That way I can watch. Because like if it was to come back up here above this level at 855 and it breaks out, then I could potentially be looking for longs. Or if it comes down here to 794 and like continues to the downside, or we have a failed auction or something, that would just be an area that I'd be interested in watching. So that's how I usually avoid this chop, is set alerts and walk away. Because if I sit here and stare at it, I start to make stuff up and like read every single 1 minute candle and overanalyze and just try to find trades that are really not good trades. We're forming a wedge. I know you're not a technical trader, but patterns are all over the place today. Yeah, I've never done well with patterns. Because just like I was talking about a couple minutes ago, like head and shoulders and wedge and bull flags and all that stuff, my brain starts to make it up. Like I can see flags and head and shoulders and stuff everywhere. So I start to like overanalyze stuff when I look for patterns. And I'm not knocking it. Like I know some people do really well with trading patterns. It just doesn't work well for my brain. Well, it's starting to look weak. We do have this value area low. If it doesn't hold that, it looks like I'll hit my stop loss. It's definitely playing with us though. Like I keep thinking it's going down and then buyers buy it back up. And I think it's going to break out from above VWAP and then sellers reject it. So don't really know what's going to happen at this point. Like I said, if I wasn't already sitting in this trade, then I would not be entering one. Not a good time to enter, you guys, in my opinion. All right, let's see if we can get one more attempt at breaking that VWAP. Is it gonna be the real deal this time? Yep, don't diddle in the middle. Not a good time to be entering a trade if you're not in one. I would wait for some sort of reaction at the initial balance low. Like I was saying before, if it decides to come down here and has like a strong bounce off of point of control and closes back within the range, that could be a good spot for a long. Or if we get super heavy and we come down and like retest the rejection of the opening range low, you could short. Basically, I would be looking to get outside of this range right here. Like that, this little box that we're in. Wait to get outside of that range before entering a trade. $23,157. I don't know about that. I'll probably be out long before then. So if it ever decides to break to the upside, I'm going to scale out at the initial balance high, probably take off some here at 22,887, and then hold some runners for London high and a new all-time high. Rejecting those VWAPs again. I thought third time would be a charm, but I guess not. Coming back down to this point of control. This value area is small. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen that before. The session volume profile value area, so like the 70% range where most of price action is taking place, is 23 points, you guys. That is insane. Good day to close up your charts and walk away. Or, like I said, set some alerts and walk away. This is wild. Summer chop. I don't know if I buy into the whole slow summer concept for this summer at least. I think this is just a no news Monday, low volatility. But we have quite a bit of news Tuesday and Wednesday. And then July 8th, I think, is when all the like tariff deadlines are supposed to be. So next week could be pretty crazy. I don't know. We could definitely have some volatility over the next several weeks. I don't think it's all going to be slow. My point of control is right now 22,827. That's for the current session, if that's what you're asking. For Friday's session, I have it down here at 785. Let's see if it holds that value area low again. If you're a range trader, you could definitely play this range. Although it's so small, I don't even know if it's worth it. 23-point range. Where are we gonna go? What's it gonna be? This PA is giving me a headache. Yep, it's ugly. All right, so now we've gotten 3 tests. 1, 2, 3 tests of VWAP. We're slowly making our way back up there. We gonna break out this time? Come on. I'm gonna put some good mojo onto my trade and start setting my targets. 875. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. Because what if we actually get up there? I'm gonna take off 2 at the 15-minute opening range high. And then what is the London high? 915. Sell one there and then leave a runner. That's what I'm gonna do. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna leave this here, you guys. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back. Didn't miss anything. When a wedge breaks, there's a retest candle before it rips again in most cases. Same to the downside, so be ready. Well, hopefully it's a giant rip to the upside. Let me see if I'm seeing the wedge that you're talking about, Coach Set. Is that kind of what you're talking about? That wedge? It's interesting because those lines are actually quite similar to where the VWAP is. I know the New York anchored VWAP is a little bit out of place from the wedge, but those VWAPs are pretty much in line with it. I think that's part of the reason I don't do like wedges and trend lines and patterns and all that stuff, is because a lot of that stuff overlaps. Like this line right here, if I was to draw that line, I could also just watch VWAP, because if it breaks above VWAP, it would be very similar to breaking the trend line. It kind of just gets to be where you're like watching too many things. For me, at least, I try to keep it simple. Oh my goodness, you guys. I wanted to do something. Is anyone else in a trade right now? Or are you guys just watching paint dry? Price action like today makes me hesitant to trade it. Yep, for sure. Like I've said a couple times now, if I wasn't already in a trade, I wouldn't want to be entering a trade right now. I felt good about my reasoning for entering over here. The way it was like holding this opening range low and finally started to get some momentum to the upside. It grabbed that Asia low liquidity. I felt like it was a good fake out and we could target the other end of the range, but then it just died. Good morning, JC Trades. Well, while we're waiting, does anyone have any good jokes? Like, I should say family friendly, like chat approved jokes, right? You think it's going to be grinding down a little bit before it pushes up? Hopefully it's more of a sideways grind. I don't want to go too much lower. $760, $750. Ah, don't tell me that. No, I could see that. 760-ish is kind of where that. Oh, even lower. Hope it doesn't go that low. For my position's sake. All right, we got a joke. What's the last thing that goes through a bug's head when it hits your windscreen? I don't know. What's the answer? It's bum. Oh. I got one for you guys. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. I'm full of like kid jokes. I liked them anyway. I always liked those silly, like dumb jokes. But now that I have kids, like that's the level of joke that I'm at. All right. This is one of my favorite ones. Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? It was too tired. I always get some eye rolls from my 10-year-old when I say that one. What do you call a bear without any teeth? I don't know. A gummy bear. I like that one. I'll have to tell my kids that one later. You just joined and we're telling dad jokes. Yeah, Luna, because price action sucks. Do you have any good jokes? Tell me a good joke, man. All right, I got another one. What type of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. Oh. I'm sure I'm getting some eye rolls from some of you guys. I'm cracking myself up over here. Why should you always invest in corn? What's the answer, Coach Set? Why should you always invest in corn? The stocks always go up. Duh. I like Top Cats. Two peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted. Get it? Assaulted. Oh, I love it. We should do jokes on the stream every day. Yeah, Luna, I've been sitting in this same trade too. And like I was saying a couple minutes ago, I feel like I had a good reason for entering. Like it was kind of a fake out to the downside on this 15-minute opening range. It grabbed Asia's liquidity. It started to bounce up. I got in long. And then no momentum, no continuation. It hasn't stopped me out, so I'm still in it. This price action is the joke. That's right. We don't even need to tell jokes. Just look at price action. We can laugh at this terribleness. Uh-oh, Luna is short. Marcus was talking about going short. I don't like to hear that. Honestly, I could see an argument for both sides. We are continuing to reject VWAP. So shorts could definitely be the play. But my original reasoning for getting long is still there. I mean, we're holding above that opening range low. Haven't gotten continuation down. So I'm going to hold it until it plays out. We shall see. Marcus is targeting 750. You know what? There is a gap down there. Is that why you're targeting 750? There was an opening gap at like 744. I could see that being a good target. Who knows? Who knows? What is ES looking like? I don't know. Like I said, when I get to this point where I can make an argument for both sides, long or short. ES is coming up to some resistance here at like 62.37. But that was some pretty strong volume on that last candle. Go back to NQ. I like to take off my drawing sometimes just to be able to see. This is a pretty strong base. I could definitely see this being a big consolidation and just like explode up. When I look at it this way, that's kind of what I see. Without all my levels and stuff, I see this as being, it's holding this level and it's getting ready to explode up. It is coming up to VWAP though. That's what it's been fighting against all morning. volume down here is dying off. That's what, I mean, yeah, we're moving up a little bit, but it's not supported by volume. So I still don't feel confident that this is breaking out. We need to get a giant green volume candle down here. This still feels pretty lazy, pretty slow. Yeah, I agree, KT. It does look like a decent consolidation, like when I took off all the drawings. It looks like it's basing here, and it could definitely explode up. But it's gotta break above VWAP. That's what's holding us back right now. This could be explosive if it moves up, though. What does the 15-minute look like? Looks about the same on the 15-minute. Looks like it's holding. The 30-minute has some decent bottom wicks. We have this general like spot with liquidity to the left that you can see when you zoom out to the 30-minute. Looks like that's the area that's holding. $15 and $30 look like a double bottom. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely pay more attention to double bottoms on the higher time frames like this. Sometimes people talk about double bottoms on like the 1-minute chart, and I'm like, no. I don't think that's valid. But yeah, it's definitely holding this level here. I feel like if sellers were gonna win today, they should have made it happen a long time ago. But this also could just be me, like, since I'm in a long, kind of reading price action with that bias. I'm definitely not denying that for sure. Let's see if we can actually break above VWAP this time. Come on. So I'd like to see us break above VWAP and then actually hold it and not just have it like fake out with a wick. Really, if it gets above 855, then I would feel better about being in a long. It needs to make a new high. Still rejecting. Man. We might just be holding below VWAP all day. Still have that super small range on the session volume profile. This is not a good trading day, you guys. Still 23-point range on that value area. I was having more fun when we were telling jokes. This price action sucks, you guys. I'm going to let it play out. I'm still in this position. Still have my stop loss, still have my targets. I'm going to let it play out. If I do end up getting stopped out, then like I said a couple minutes ago, I'm going to set my alerts and not take any more trades in this chop. I'm going to wait for it to get outside of this range. Biblical is waiting for it to fill the opening gap. Yeah, if it decides to go down there, I could see that being a target. Today is a day for patience. Don't overtrade in this chop, you guys. All right, looks like it's going to come down. Coming lower. Gonna stop me out. Oh my gosh. It's to the point where I almost just wish it would stop me out. This is painful. Uh-oh, Sasmit. You blew an account in this chop, huh? Yeah, this has been rough. I'm glad I took a small position, reduced my risk, and I'm sitting in it pain-free. All right, so stopped out, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten my limit orders. At this point, I'm just gonna set my alerts, like I said. I'm gonna watch and see how it reacts at this initial balance low. So I'm gonna set an alert there and see if maybe it breaks down below and continues lower, or if we get a failed auction. So scenarios would be if we like fake out below, bounce off of point of control and continue higher, close back within the initial balance low, then I can take a long. Or if we break out below the initial balance low, we retest and continue lower, then we can target some of those, oops, let me delete that. Some of those spots lower, like value area low or the gap fill over here to the left. This little spot right here at like 748, 750 could be a spot possible target if we're going short. So those are my scenarios. I'm going to set my alerts at the initial balance low and up here at 855 in case we break above VWAP and start to continue higher. But that's my plan, you guys. I don't want to take any more trades in this chop. We were making jokes and Tradeify is doing a top 3 movies list. Yeah. Nobody's actually taking trades, like good trades in this right now. Oh, man. All right, well, coming back tomorrow, we do have some news and stuff tomorrow, so hopefully we get a little better price action. But if you guys do keep trading today, trade safe. Don't get chopped up in this price action. Wait for it to break out of this range and wait for us to get some new information before entering. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later.